So you want to become a software tester but have no idea where to start from? Stay with me. In this video, I'll give you 6 tips on how to become a software tester. Hello my beautiful people, Vinny here, and I'm going to give you 6 tips on how to become a software tester. And the first one is learn the fundamentals of software testing, which means learning what software testing is, what are the principles of software testing, the levels of testing, the test pyramid, the test techniques, white box, black box, understanding the differences of functional testing, non-functional testing, what are the objectives of testing software, why do we need testing, the importance of it, what is a bug, what is CI/CD, all the fundamentals of what you need for software testing and what you mean by testing software, apps, programs, web systems. So learning all those fundamentals and concepts will help you to understand better what software testing is, and will also help you to understand the next topics. And the second tip is understand the areas and domains of software testing specialization, meaning that when you're starting to learn about software engineering and software testing, you see concepts like front-end testing, back-end testing, data testing, mobile testing, and this is also applied for non-functional testers, for instance, security, usability, and all those kinds and different kinds of testing. You have to learn to become a good software developer engineering test, software tester, software QA. Learning those different areas will help you to be a more complete and a more broad software tester. Some people have as careers specializations in security, for instance, or penetration testing. So it's possible to focus your career as a tester in security and in penetration testing. It is possible, but most of the roles and jobs that you will find, they expect you to be what we mean by full stack tester. You know how there are full stack engineers that understand front end, back end, data, all of that stuff. For testing is a similar concept. They expect you to understand well front end, back end, software architecture. So we call it full stack software tester as well. In this way, you have to learn how to do testing starting from the front end, how to deal with APIs, how to test data. In this way, you have a better value as a software testing instead of just learning one small and narrow specific area or of software. Are there roles that are more focused on APIs and backend? Yes, you'll find roles and jobs that expect you to be focused on APIs and backend. But front end only or manual testers only is not very common anymore. So it's better for you to learn broader topics. The more topics you learn and the more areas you learn, the more value as a tester you will have. So you start with the fundamentals, the manual testing, but think about all the other areas that you have to learn to become a good software developer engineering test, a good tester, a good QA, yeah? So the third tip today is choose and learn a modern program language. What do you mean by modern program language, Vinny? I mean Java, JavaScript, Python, C#, Golang. Some people ask me, Vinny, is it still worth learning Ruby or PHP, for instance? I mean, everything you learn is always useful because you never know when they're going to need it, or a specific role you give you an edge because you learn some specific language. So what I use as a metric to recommend to my students and for the people that I'm a mentor is choose a language that it's well known and very and widely used. That's why I mentioned those languages, because if you see the report that GitHub do every year or other companies do, you want to learn a language that it's widely used and that you have a variety of roles available when you start to look for a job. So definitely choose a modern program language because you will need it for automation. You will still see some roles that asks mostly for manual testing, but throughout the years, what I'm seeing is a decline of the amount of roles that offer just manual testing. Most of the roles will expect you to also do automation. So even when you join and you don't do automation, you have to have that knowledge, and you have to have that you have to be eager to learn that. That's why you see more and more testers becoming software developer engineers in tests instead of just QAs, manual testers, because most of the roles available currently, they expect you to do some sort of automation. And in order for you to do that automation, you will need a good modern object-oriented programming language. So those are the ones that I recommended you to learn. I usually use Java in the courses that I teach, mainly because this is one of the most popular languages for software testing and for software programming. But you can choose any of those that I mentioned and you will be very happy in your career, right? Fourth tip of this video is learn other testing tools. For instance, how to test APIs with Postman. We have videos in this channel teaching how to use Postman for do the APIs testing. So have a look on the most asked tools in the job roles. For instance, for testing starting from the interface, you will see that they ask for Selenium WebDriver, so learn Selenium. For testing APIs manually, you see that they ask for Postman, so learn Postman. For CI/CD, you have Jenkins, you have GitLab. So have a look on the most asked tools for each specific area and learn them, because that will help you also to get a job quicker than just trying to learn random tools that no one uses or that has very low usage in the role, So try to start and learn the most used tools, the most broadly used tools. It's a similar idea, it's a similar approach to the programming language, You want to learn a broadly used language, so you have a broad amount of jobs to choose from. It's the same for the tools, For, like I mentioned, for testing API Postman. For performance testing, you can do JMeter or K6 or Locust, and for testing APIs in an automatic way, you always need a library with a language. So a language you learned in the previous tip, and in here you then learn how to use a library with it. For instance, for testing APIs with Java, you use Rest Assured, and every language you have different libraries. So defining the language that you want to know will help you also to understand different libraries to use with that language, right? The fifth tip is seeking mentorship and also a good community, Having a good mentor will help you to speed up your learning. You don't have to learn things by yourself and feel overwhelmed with the amount of different topics that you can find. Having a mentor will help you to learn quicker and easier. And it doesn't really have to be a paid mentor like on my mentorship program that I have. You don't have to necessarily buy something for that. It can be a friend that became a software tester before you, can be someone in your current job that will also help you and have time with you to develop your skills. So you can use a variety of mentors to help you to develop quicker in this field. Also finding other people that are interested in the same topic. Networking is very important. Not only to help you to learn quicker, but also to help you to find jobs quicker as well. People will recommend you or they will tell you about open roles in their companies. So having a good community where you go and you make those connections is very important. We have a Discord for this channel and for people that are growing in this testing community, so you can just join it. But any community will also help you, So it's very important for you to be part of a community where you can contribute and also help and, and also learn from others. And the sixth tip for today is getting a certification. You will see different kind of certificates, but the one that I usually recommend to my students is the CTFL, is the one that comes from ISTQB or International Software Testing Quality Board. So the CTFL is the Certified tester foundation level. Why you recommend it, Vinny? I recommend it because one, it will help you to review all of those fundamentals that I mentioned in the first topic of this video. Second, because you can just download their syllabus and use it as a chronogram for studying. You can go topic by topic and learn each one of those topics, and you then have then covered all of the fundamentals regarding theory, like I mentioned before, processes, levels, techniques. So using that syllabus as a map, as a roadmap for studying the fundamentals is usually very useful, and it helps you a lot. And also because a lot of jobs ask that you have that as a prerequisite for the job. Some countries like it very much. I know that Brazil likes it very much, Portugal likes it very much. Some other countries will ask you to have that certification as well. Will give you a little bit of a edge as well. It will give you a little bit of an edge in regards of other candidates that doesn't have that certification, and also help you to prove that you know the fundamentals very well. If you have that certificate, like any other certification, it helps you to prove that you have a good fundamentals structure. And that works very well, especially for people that are starting from scratch, that didn't come from computer science or software engineering. Like a lot of my students, they are changing careers, and they came from other areas like law, or they're journalists, or they were something different from software engineering. So having a certificate, it really helps you to show your interest for the area, but also show that you dedicated, you studied, you learned, you have the fundamentals all in place. Cool. So these are the 6 tips for you to become a good software tester, software QA, software developer, engineering test. It doesn't really matter how they call you. I hope that those tips will help you in your journey. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel and also like this video. So in that way you help us to grow and help me to bring more information for free to you. Thanks for watching, and I see you soon.